We're out here for our first official kickoff with our partners HelloFresh, Second Helpings Atlanta, and Pratt Industries as we kick off their Meals with Meaning program. Their HelloFresh nationally is going to give away over 60,000 meals a month. Here in Atlanta, we're going to be doing 800 meal kits a week. Now that ends up being about 8,000 meals because there are 2 meals for a family of 4 in each kit. So every Wednesday for the next calendar year, we're going to be distributing food to folks who need it. So folks who are in a food desert, if you've been adversely affected by COVID-19, if you're struggling to feed your family, or if you just need some additional help this week, come by. We'll make sure that you get a meal and make sure that we help ameliorate some of those problems in your home.
Today we're here in Northwest Atlanta to say goodbye to this old eyesore that has been plaguing this community for over a decade. Sierra Ridge was a drug haven, drug-infested parcel of land right here at 3202 Delmar Lane. So community members gathered here today because this is the beginning of the rehabilitation and renovation of Sierra Ridge. Over 10 years ago, there were over 300 code enforcement violations, over 300 calls to 911, and we knew that we had to do something about it. It is very important that they have a safe, sanitary environment. We will be working with the owners of this property and the developers to make sure that the quality of life for all residents exists in Northwest Atlanta.
Today, this is a service project in the Bush Mountain community, and we are on the Atlanta Black Crackers practice field, and sometimes they played ball on this field. So they were professional ball players. Many of them went to the major leagues, okay, from right here in the Bush Mountain community. We're refurbishing the ball field here. We've had the family of 2 of the 3 Atlanta Black Crackers that I honored today here. So we had a large group of family members from Charles Ingram and from Preston Ingram. They were just great ball players. It's just so much history here in this city, not only in the district that I represent, but throughout the city of Atlanta. This is just a great opportunity for us to celebrate bygone years, but to remember those that came before us.
We are here at Greenbrier Mall for our community wellness and Empower Day. And what that means is we're giving out vaccine shots. Walgreens is here. Wellness is everything. We know that right now everyone needs to be vaccinated. The COVID vaccination is here. When we're talking about Empower, we have resources here for not just children, but for the adults. We have fresh produce because the Fulton County, I've partnered up with Chairman Pitts. And so the Fulton County is here with their fresh produce truck. The library is here, Fulton County Library. Those resources are here. Children are loving that I am giving out book bags. Our city solicitor donated book bags. We have another restaurant around here, Area 4. They've donated book bags, and my office has donated hundreds of book bags. And these book bags are full. We have a lot going on because District 11 is really getting ready to be empowered and well. And that's what today is about.
community. It's still a great community because it's populated by great people in the community who love Atlanta. This is National Night Out, and we're pleased to be here in the Collier Heights, historic Collier Heights community. So we've got representatives from all of our public safety agencies here, APD, AFRD, the court system are here at this time, and we're having a cookout, but it's bigger than that. We are reclaiming the streets for the community, from the criminals. You know, you can't terrorize us anymore. You can't victimize us anymore.
We have to be intentional about rebuilding relationship between community and our police. And I think it's not just about building the relationship, but reinstilling trust back in our communities. And especially at a time where crime is at its highest we've seen in this nation, I think it's even more important that we're working collaboratively with our local police officers and our community members to help mitigate the continued rise in crime.
Anytime that a community comes together, it builds a stronger city. When neighbors talk to each other, when they talk to their elected officials, and they talk to their firefighters and police officers, it makes for a really strong community, and that's what we want to see across the city. So tonight is proof of that all of our neighborhoods are strong and vibrant, and together we can make our city safe.
It's an opportunity for them to get close up to the residents and just really show that they're human beings. You know, police officers are human beings just like anybody else. They've got feelings, and so the police love doing this. This is their time where they get an opportunity to really come together and don't have to write reports and can really talk on the same level as the citizens.
Thank you all so much.
At the heart of National Night Out, safer and stronger communities happen when we're connected. And for 17 years, Midtown Neighborhood Association has been hosting this event. Even the rain didn't keep people away. I think it speaks to the sense of community here that exists. The city's going through a challenging time right now, and connectedness and community is even more important than it has been over the last several years.
We are here because we are very encouraged, and we want our neighbors to do Citizens on Patrol, look out for one another during this crime wave here in Northwest Atlanta.
And when we talk about crime, it's more than just our police officers who, of course, put their lives on the line every day and night for us, but we have to have strong communities and strong community policing where the people know the officers and the officers know the people in the communities, and we can work together to drive out crime from our neighborhoods.
I just got through with a conversation with the Atlanta Police Department and the community, asking questions about crime and how we can make a difference. And I'm very excited about the enthusiasm from the neighborhood folks.
You see something, you what? Say something. We need to fight this crime. That's why I'm glad to see these officers out here.
This is the neighborhood that I live in, and these beautiful homes have beautiful neighbors, and they're all here to talk about public safety and to see each other. Always remember to be safe and to look out for your fellow man and take care of your police officers as they take care of us.
Historic Collier Heights neighborhood happens to be my neighborhood, and so this is always my last best stop. The rain didn't stop them. They're out here to fellowship, to meet their neighbors, to have fun with their neighbors, but also to keep cognizant and remember about public safety. Our fire department and police department always come out so the community can say thank you to them for all the great work that they do.
Thanks for joining us for this edition of Stay at Home Connect. I'm Phyllis Jackson. The Fulton County Board of Commissioners will consider COVID-19 vaccine requirements for its employees when it meets next week. County Chairman Rob Pitts wants all employees to be vaccinated by Labor Day. Employees would have to present proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test every 48 hours. The increase in COVID cases leads the city of South Fulton to implement a mask mandate in all public places. The Pentagon implements a plan requiring U.S. military members to get vaccinated by mid-September. Officials say the shot is a necessary step to maintaining military readiness. As COVID cases surge across the nation, health experts say 94,000 children have been infected with COVID-19 within the past week. The American Academy of Pediatrics is calling for the FDA to grant authorization of COVID-19 vaccines for children as soon as possible. Broward County, Florida public school officials opt to defy Florida's ban on mask mandates set by Governor DeSantis. State officials are also threatening to withhold salaries of leaders who defy that order, which also threatens to pull funding from districts establishing the mask mandate. Florida leads the country in COVID-19 hospitalizations of children. School starts August 18th.
Councilmember Amir Faruqi, Chair of the Atlanta City Council Zoning Committee. I want to welcome you all to the committee meeting of Monday, August 23rd, 2021. Hope everyone had a nice weekend and their week is off to a good start. Before we dive into the agenda today, if I could ask Ms. Corinne Lindo, our legislative assistant, to please conduct a roll call.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair. We have Councilmember CARLA Smith. Here. Councilmember Howard Shook. Councilmember CLETA WINSLOW. Present. Councilmember Andre Dickens.
Here.
Councilmember Andrea L. Boone. Present. Councilmember Marcy Collier Overstreet. Ms. Overstreet. Councilmember Shook.
Overstreet present.
Thank you. Councilmember Shook. Mr. Chair, we have a quorum of members present. We also have with us Ms. Kieta Holmes, the Director of the Office of Zoning and Development.
Thank you, Ms. Lindo. I have been able to sign into the system, so I can't see who's on it. But if others need to voice vote, when we get to our first vote, just go ahead and sound off once we open the vote. If you could please, Ms. Lindo, read the remote meeting statement, that'd be great.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Good morning. Today's zoning committee meeting will be conducted remotely as advertised and in accordance with Georgia Code Section 50-14-1. The meeting will be conducted in conformance with Robert Rules of Order and the Rules of Council as authorized by the City Code. The public may access the meeting conference bridge toll-free by dialing 877-579-6743 and entering conference ID number 831-599-1256. This information was also provided on the Friday, August 20th, 2021 public meeting notice. The public may also view the meeting on Channel 26, the Council's homepage at citycouncil.atlanta.ga.gov, Facebook and Twitter pages at ATL Council, and the Council's YouTube channel. Today's meeting agenda was also published and made available on Friday, August 20th via the city's website at atlantacity.ga.iqm2.com. In addition, the public was able to submit comments that were unrelated to zoning items that have or will go before the Zoning Review Board via voicemail at 404-330-6035 yesterday between the hours of 4 and 7 p.m. These comments will be played during the public comment portion of this meeting. All persons present on the remote council meeting conference bridge are requested to please mute your phones and speakers. Meeting participants wishing to speak must be acknowledged by the committee chair. Thank you all in advance for your cooperation.
Thank you, Ms. Lindo. Our next item is item number D, the adoption of the agenda. Today we have a piece of walk-in legislation that will be read in and referred to ZRB, but we need to amend our agenda to reflect that walk-in legislation. So I will move to amend the agenda to add the walk-in legislation. Could I get a second?
Shook, second.
Thank you, and welcome, Mr. Shook. We have a full committee today. Thanks, everyone, for their attendance. Ms. Lindo, motion by Faroki, second by Shook. Please open the vote.
The vote is open, Mr. Chair.
And if anyone's voice voting, please just go ahead and voice your vote.
Winslow in favor.
Dickens, yay.
Boone, yes.
Affirmative.
All right, so we got Overstreet, Boone, Dickens, and Winslow, all the affirmatives.
One moment, Mr. Chair. The vote is closed. Got 7 yeas, 0 nays. That item has been amended.
Thank you, Ms. Lindo. Do we now need to adopt the full agenda, or since it's amended, we can go ahead and move forward?
No, we can have a motion to adopt as amended, Mr. Chair.
Oh, okay, motion to adopt the amended agenda. Can I get a second?
Overstreet, second.
Thank you, Mr. Overstreet. Please open the vote, Ms. Lindo.
One moment, Mr. Chair. The vote is open.
Great. And again, if you're voice voting, please just go ahead and voice your vote.
Dickens, yay.
Winslow, yes. Boone, yes.
The vote is closed, Mr. Chair. One moment. That's 7 yeas, 0 nays. The agenda has been adopted as amended.
Terrific. Our next item is approval of the minutes. I will move to approve the meeting minutes. Can I get a second?
Overstreet, second.
Thank you, Ms. Overstreet. Ms. Lindo, please open the vote.
The vote is open, Mr. Chair.
And again, if you're voice voting, please feel free to go ahead and voice your vote.
Boone, yes. Winslow, yes.
Dickens, yay.
Good. I heard Boone, Winslow, and Dickens.
The vote is closed, Mr. Chair. One moment. That's 7 yeas, 0 nays. The meeting minutes have been approved.
Thank Thank you. Our next item is public comment. If you don't mind reading the public comment statement and playing our public comment today, we have 2 comments for a total of 5 minutes and 24 seconds.
Yes, Mr. Chair. These 2 comments will include no comments are allowed on legislative items that have or gone before, have or will go before the Zoning Review Board. One moment.
I am Douglas and Tommy Sunday. I am a soulful spiritual being having a human experience. I do not believe in magic. Ever since I was a Vietnam veteran, and we aligned 1965, the fall of the war of Vietnam, soldiers came home medically insufficient to be able to provide for their family. I had members came home after 1975. Why is he saying that zoning? We have the 21st century. Zoning, you are able to do more for affordable housing. Zoning area specifically for affordable housing. You had people in the 60s and 68 during the time of the State University. Young men and women, Caucasians, speaking out against the war. Civil rights people that Martin Luther King speaking out against the war. Now we have a war for 20 years. Trillions of dollars has been spent. Money has been allocated for affordable housing in the state of Georgia. But do government start with the government? No, we start locally. I have a senior man, Mr. Howard, speak up constantly about affordability of housing. So I'm asking you young Caucasians who are charged with during the Floyd incident, during the problem we had at the colleges here at Atlanta University. The march was supporting the interests of black people being treated fairly. But I don't like that word. Like I say, darn people that learn. So I'm asking you Caucasians, speak up today. Ask the mayor candidates, what are they going to do for affordable housing? What are they going to do for the benefit of people that don't have economic empowerment and friends and people in high places, alternatives to the order? Please, Caucasian, support someone that will help women and children have access to a home. It is time now. Please do what is necessary to influence your consciousness of the 21st century. My Caucasian brothers and sisters, thank you, Brother Anthony Muhammad. HR, recap, assimilation. My Caucasian brothers and sisters, and fraternities and royalties of darker people not speak. We need your help in 21st century in the city of Atlanta. Caucasian help affordability of housing.
Greetings, zoning committee council members and staff, and special greetings to you citizens and voters of Atlanta paying attention to our government in action this election year. Ben Howard, Senior Advocate, Public Policy Analyst. Under the leadership of President Debbie Skaczynski, the Atlanta Planning Advisory Board met again on the third Saturday of this month 2 days ago. Approximately 1/100% of the city's population was in attendance. At that meeting, a representative from the Department of City Planning informed us that operational policies governing land use and other matters have been set in place for all of the 25 neighborhood planning units. In 2015, when Ricardo Jacobs, Paulus Clare, Lynette L. Scott and Company were ousting Ben Howard and Ron Shakir from Neighborhood Planning Unit R, a creative local newspaper article contained the comment that some NPU chairs regard the neighborhood planning units as their own fiefdom. So the question might legitimately be asked, what role did the fiefdom of the NPUR 9 play in setting the operational policies for the 20,000 residents of Neighborhood Planning Unit R. What fiat, what dictum was accepted by city planning in lieu of a representative vote of the 20,000 residents, newcomers, and stakeholders of Neighborhood Planning Unit R at an NPUR membership meeting? With politics in the air and with transparency at risk, little do we need NPUR operational policies to be defined and dominated by the likes of Anthony Robinson, Corliss Clare, Ricardo Jacobs, Lynette L. Scott, Albert White, Allison Hathaway, Cheryl Brown, Agent X, Sherry Williams, and those behind the scenes NPUR 9 allies and supporters.
Mr. Chair, that concludes the public comment.
Thank you. We will now move to ordinances for second reading. Item number G on our agenda. If I could ask Ms. CLETA Holmes to read in items number 1 through 3, which we'll take as a block, and then we'll work our way through the rest of the agenda. Ms. Holmes?
Certainly. Good morning, council members. Item number 1, 21-00235, Z2141, an ordinance by zoning committee to amend the 1982 Atlanta zoning ordinance as amended by amending the definition of urban gardens to permit on-site sales, by amending the special administrative permit requirement for urban gardens so as to expand the use of urban gardens in residential areas and to increase the availability of locally grown food and to stimulate neighborhood economic activity and for other purposes. Item number 2, 21-0388, Z2156, an ordinance by zoning committee designating 1331 Metropolitan Parkway, Masonic Building at 1331, also 1333 Metropolitan Parkway, from the Neighborhood Commercial 9 Beltline Overlay District to Neighborhood Commercial 9 Beltline Zoning Overlay Landmark Building or Site District. Staff recommendation, NPU recommendation, DRB recommendation approval. And item number 3, 21-0487, Z2157, an ordinance by zoning committee to rezone from multifamily residential to light industrial for properties located at 1311 and 1335 Fulton Industrial Boulevard. Staff, NPU, and DRB recommendation approval.
Thank you. I will move to approve these 3 items as a block. Can I get a second?
Overstreet, second.
Second, Dickens.
Thank you. Mr. Overstreet seconded. If we could open the vote. I'll take Mr. Dickens' voice second as a yay, unless he wants to re-articulate it. But otherwise, please open the vote.
Mr. Chair, the vote is open.
Winslow in favor. Boone, yes.
The vote is closed. That's 7 yeas, 0 nays. Those items are favorable, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we'll turn now to items number 4 through 6, also to be taken as a block. Ms. Holmes?
Item number 4, 21-0263, Z2148, an ordinance by Councilmember CLETA Winslow as amended by Zoning Committee to amend Part 16, Chapter 28A of the 1982 Zoning Ordinance of the City of Atlanta by creating a new section to provide for comprehensive signage regulations for the Morehouse School of Medicine Sign District. Staff, NPU, and DRB recommendation approval. Item number 5, 21-0281, Z2135, an amended ordinance by zoning committee to rezone from light industrial to mixed residential commercial conditional for property located at 400 Bishop Street. Staff recommendation denial. NPU DRB recommendation approval conditional. Item number 6, 21-0384, Z2142, an amended ordinance by zoning committee to rezone from mixed residential commercial beltline overlay to mixed residential commercial conditional beltline overlay for property located at 791 Grafton Gill Boulevard. Staff, NPU, and DRB recommendation approval conditional.
Great. I will move to approve. Can I get a second?
Winslow, second.
Thank you, Ms. Winslow. Ms. Lindo, please open the vote. And again, if you're voice voting, just go ahead and sound off once you open the vote.
The vote is open, Mr. Chair.
Overstreet, affirmative.
Dickens, yes.
Boone, are you still with us?
Yes. Boone, yes.
The vote is closed. That's 7 yeas, 0 nays, Mr. Chair. Those items are favorable as amended.
Thank you. Items number 7 and 8 will be taken as a block. Ms. Holmes, you could please read them in.
Item number 7, 20-1641, Z2059, a substitute ordinance by zoning committee to rezone from single-family residential to two-family residential conditional for property located at 910, 922, 928 Lindbergh Drive Northeast. Staff recommendation approval conditional of the substitute. NPU recommendation denial. VRB recommendation approval conditional of the substitute. Item number 8, 21-00279, Z2132, a substitute ordinance by zoning committee to rezone from single-family residential to residential general sector 3 conditional for property located at 2246 Memorial Drive. Staff recommendation approval conditional of the substitute. NPU recommendation approval conditional. VRB recommendation approval conditional of the substitute.
Thank you. I will move to approve these as they're favorable on substitute. Can I get a second?
Second, Boone. Overstreet. Affirmative.
Thank you. Second by Boone. And if you please vote Ms. Lindo and mark Ms. Overstreet as a yay.
The vote is open, Mr. Chair.
Dickens is affirmative.
Winslow in favor.
The vote is closed. A moment. That's 7 yeas, 0 nays. These items are favorable as they've been substituted.
All right, next item is item number 9. Ms. Holmes, would you like to read that in, please?
Item number 9, 21-00285, Z2139, a substitute ordinance by zoning committee to rezone from single-family residential to light industrial conditional for property located at 3393 Jonesboro Road. Staff recommendation approval conditional of the substitute. NPU recommendation approval conditional. CRB recommendation approval conditional of the substitute. And we request that you hold this item, Mr. Chair.
Good. I will move to hold it. Can I get a second?
Second, Winslow.
Thank you, Ms. Winslow. Ms. Lindo, please open the vote. And everyone else, please feel free to voice vote.
The vote is open, Mr. Chair.
Overstreet affirmative.
Yes.
Dickens affirmative.
The vote is closed. A moment. 7 yeas, 0 nays. That item will be held.
Great. Item number 10, Ms. Winslow. Or excuse me, Ms. Holmes.
Certainly. Item 10, 21-00389, U2106, an ordinance by zoning committee for a special use permit for outdoor dining at eating and drinking establishments when any part of such use is located within 1,000 feet of residential property or property located at 1492 Piedmont Avenue, Suite B. Staff recommendation, NPU recommendation, VRB recommendation, denial.
Great. I will motion to adverse this. Can I get a second?
Second, Dickens.
Please open the vote.
The vote is open, Mr. Chair.
And Ms. Overstreet, Winslow, and Boone, please feel free to voice vote.
Overstreet affirmative.
And I just have a question. I know we already have an outdoor dining law that allows, space on the street to be used as space on the city street to be used as outdoor dining. So this prohibits people within 1,000 feet of a residential area from using it as.
So, Ms. Winslow, no, this is specific to a piece of property. It's just in District 6. And it's a nightclub that wanted to build a big deck to continue operations outside. So this is not a citywide. This is just specific to one piece of property. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm in favor of the denial.
vote is closed. That's 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item has been adversed.
Item number 11, 210287, U2104, an ordinance by zoning committee for a special use permit for an outdoor sales area pursuant to section 1618P005 for property located at 1020 Spring Street. Staff recommendation to file, MP recommendation, no recommendation, CRB recommendation, file.
Great. Motion to file. Can I get a second?
Winslow, second.
Thank you. Please open the vote.
The vote is open, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Dickens, Ms. Overstreet, Ms. Boone.
Dickens, yay.
Overstreet, affirmative.
Boone, yes.
The vote is closed. That's 7 yeas, 0 nays. That item will be filed.
Item number 12, 210616, Z2178, an ordinance by zoning committee correcting ordinance 201683, Z2080, which was adopted by the City Council on March 1st, 2020, and approved as per the City Charter 2403 on March 10, 2020, without signature by operation of law to rezone properties located at 784 to 862 Erin Avenue, having frontage along Erin Avenue Southwest for the purpose of correcting the map attachment. And item number 13, 210646, an ordinance by Councilmember Natalie M. Archibong to correct ordinance 210106, adopted by the City Council on March 1st, 2021, and approved as per City Charter 24003 on March 10th, which waives section 1507006 of the subdivision ordinance of the City of Atlanta to acknowledge 24 Warren Street Northeast as two separate lots, substantially consistent with the historic configuration and prevailing plat patterns for the purpose of correcting Exhibit A, depicting the size of the lots and for other purposes.
Great. I'll move to approve items number 12 and 13 as a block. Can I get a second?
Second, Winslow.
Thank you, Ms. Winslow. Ms. Lindo, please open the vote.
Mr. Chair, the vote is open. If we can just have a Scribner's error, that should be 214 Warren Street. We would correct that Scribner's error. That should be 214 Warren Street. The vote is open.
Dickens is a yay.
Overstreet, affirmative.
Boone, yes.
The vote is closed. That's 7 yeas, 0 nays. Those items are favorable.
Item number 14, 210647, an ordinance by Councilmember Howard Shook to waive section 16280064, Part 16, Zoning Part 3, Land Development Code for the purpose of facilitating an acknowledgement of 2189 Virginia Place, Northeast as a lot of record and for other purposes.
Great. I'll motion to approve. Can I get a second?
Second, Dickens.
Please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Overstreet, affirmative.
Winslow in favor.
Ms. Boone?
Yes.
The vote is closed. That's 7 yeas, 0 nays. That item is favorable.
Great. Our last item is item number I, walk-in legislation. This will be read in and will, I believe, be referred to ZRB and then come back to us in September. So if I turn over to Ms. Holmes to read it in.
Legislative ID 24725, item Z2185, an ordinance by zoning committee to amend the 1982 Atlanta zoning ordinance as amended by creating a definition of a short-term rental and to allow a short-term rental as a use in certain zoning districts and for other purposes.
Great. So do we need to motion for this to be sent to the ZRB, or does anything need to be done on it?
Yes, Mr. Chair, if you could do a motion to refer this to the DRB and Zoning Committee.
Okay, so moved. Baroki, can I get a second?
Second, Overstreet.
Thank you. Please open the vote.
One moment, Mr. Chair. The vote is open.
Dickens, affirmative.
What does this paper do? It says short-term.
Yeah, I believe Commissioner Keen's with us if he'd like to speak to it. But we'll have an opportunity to debate in full at our next council meeting. But is the commissioner with us? Would he like to give a quick primer on the legislation? Again, we were just referring it today, but if we want a quick overview of it, I believe he's with us.
Yeah, I would like to hear that. Is this on like Airbnb?
That's correct.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I understand that Commissioner Keen is not on the line at this time.
Okay. He is not with us. Ms. Winslow, I'm happy to give, obviously you can reach out to Commissioner Keen yourself, but I'm happy to provide a synopsis to the committee over with an email with bullet points. But,
I'll just abstain just so I can get more information.
Okay. Again, today we're just referring it, but it'll come back to us.
Isn't it just a paper to define what the previous legislation means? Aren't we just defining what short-term rental means?
That's correct. It's an updated definition, but I don't want to speak out of turn. I want to make sure that, I want to make sure Ms. Winslow and anyone else gets the full information. So I'll ask Commissioner Keen to send, or someone from the department to send a full synopsis before it comes back to us for the next cycle.
Okay, sure, thank you. And I actually appreciate this legislation because I also have legislation that's in the hopper that's about tax split, and they're literally two different things, and they both need to be defined. So don't even want to introduce the tax split legislation until the short-term rental is completely legislated and defined. So, but we're just referring to that.
Right, and I hope, and maybe this isn't the legislation because I haven't seen it. I'm hoping that this Airbnb legislation is where the owner has to live in the house. I don't know if this one speaks to that, but I'm tired of getting up at 1:00 in the morning and running out to constituents where there are parties going on. I'm just a little tired of that. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. But I would hope that it would be.
You don't have to go to the party if you get an invite. You can decline the invite to the party. I'm just joking with you.
I know. I'll be happy to allow other people to get up at 1:00 when their constituents call and demand that they come out. And so I like to be responsive to my constituents, and so I go out. I don't tell them I'm not coming.
So we'll get everyone the details.
I got you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Is the vote closed, Ms. Lindo? I believe Ms. Winslow's vote was to abstain, but I believe everyone else has voted.
Yes, Mr. Chair, one moment. That's 6 yeas and 1 abstention. That item will be referred to the ZRB and Zoning Committee.
Excellent. So that brings us to the end of our agenda. I'll make 2 quick notes, and then if anyone else has an announcement they'd like to make, please do so before we adjourn. First, I want to acknowledge that hell may have frozen over as Councilmember Shook has completed an entire council and or committee meeting without getting kicked off the system or the phone call. So kudos to the council office for keeping Councilmember Shook on the line. So, yeah, I'll take that last. I mean, he's happy. He's also cleared the meeting without getting kicked off the system. And the last thing I'll note, will be on self-selected parental leave in September, as I'm the primary parent for our child before she heads off to daycare in October. So for our zoning committee meetings in September, our more than qualified and esteemed Vice Chair CARLA Smith will be chairing the meeting. Any other announcements for the good of the body before we adjourn? All right, barring none, we are adjourned. Thanks everyone for your votes and participation today. We'll see everyone in early September. Thanks.
Good meeting. Bye. Thank you.